Everyone will make a career mistake at some point. It's going to happen no matter how much I preach about avoiding these pitfalls. Chances are you're still going to make them yourself. In this video, I'll cover 8 common career mistakes you'll likely learn the hard way. Today, I'm going to share with you the most common career mistakes that I see people make all the time, some of which I've experienced myself. Now, pay extra close attention if you're early in your career, because avoiding some of these mistakes can mean the difference between a successful career or ending up in a dead-end job. But before we get too far into it, if you're interested in more career-related content just like this, directly from a senior-level hiring manager, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. You might also want to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any other future videos. I'll admit, some of the lessons I'm going to cover are based on mistakes I've made myself. Now, I feel like I've had an incredible career up to this point where I've built teams at highly successful tech companies. I've had multiple successful exits, including selling a company that I founded. Now, while I feel like I've done well in my career, it definitely didn't always go as planned, and I've had some hard lessons along the way. And that's what I'll be sharing with you today. Some of the other lessons I'll share with you are from mistakes that I've seen people who I've managed, mentored, or coached make in their careers. Look, we all make mistakes. The most important thing, though, is to learn from them. And when possible, it's better to learn lessons from other people's mistakes rather than making them yourself. And that's why I want to share these lessons with you here today. So let's dive into the 8 career lessons that you'll probably end up learning the hard way yourself. Number 1 is waiting for income and opportunity. I'll start with this lesson because it's the main reason we go to work. To make money so that we can do what we want in life, whether it's raise a family or travel the world or maybe both. Early in my career, I was nervous about asking for a raise, or when I was promoted, I didn't ask for more. And then I learned better. And once I started asking for more, I would usually get more. And that additional salary has added up to a lot over the years. I've also had many people on my teams that I've managed who never would ask for a raise. But on the other hand, I've had people who would ask for a raise every 6 months. Specifically, there was one individual on my team who went from earning $70,000 when he started and first joined my team, and 4 years later, after giving him multiple raises, he was earning $210,000. So he tripled his income in a few short years. And he also got a few big bonuses along the way. Now, he was a solid performer. You need to perform well in your role to be able to get increases, but he was someone who would often ask for a raise when he knew he was making big contributions to the team. And the difference between consistently asking for more and never asking can add up to over $1 million of earnings over the course of your career. This is a huge lesson. It's that you don't want to wait for money to come to you. You gotta earn it, and you have to ask for it. Whether it's a raise, a promotion, or with a new job offer, if you don't ask, you don't get. All right, number 2, I see a lot of people, especially early in their careers, focus on a few big brand name companies that they want to work for, like Google or Meta or even Salesforce. Now, these are great companies, but if you're solely focused on big brands, you could miss out on life-changing opportunities that exist in small and medium-sized companies. A big brand might look nice and carry some weight on your resume, but smaller companies is where the magic happens. In smaller companies, there's more opportunity to work on highly impactful projects, take on more responsibility, and get promoted faster. It's also easier to land jobs at smaller companies because there are thousands upon thousands of them out there. In fact, 84% of tech jobs exist in small and medium-sized companies. Not only that, but they can be less competitive because they aren't as well known. Working at a small company brings with it a unique set of challenges, but if you're up for that challenge, they can provide you with massive opportunities and upside in your career. I've worked for both large and small companies, and by far, most of my growth came from smaller companies. The third lesson is that having one very specific skill can help in your career, but having relevant skills that many employers want matters more. So what does that mean? Employers care about certain skills until they don't need them anymore. So your boss may value a certain skill you have now because it helps with a current project, but later they may not need that skill anymore, and then you're no longer useful with that particular skill. And the same thing can happen if you leave a job. Your last employer valued the skills that you had, but a new employer may not care about those skills as much. So you could end up with skills on your resume that nobody now wants. And that's a big problem. That means that you may end up taking a lower quality job that does not use your skills well. One bad job often leads to another, and soon your resume doesn't really look that good anymore. So it's best to focus on skills that most employers want, not just skills that your current employers want. The key is to have skills that are in high demand by many different employers. The last thing I'll say on skills is that while soft skills don't belong on your resume, they are the most important skills for your career. For example, being a good communicator and a relationship builder will take you far further than any hard skill will in your career. So always invest in developing your soft skills. Number 4, the biggest lesson you often learn comes much later in your career, and by then it's usually too late. Early in your career, you will likely make a big mistake, but won't realize it for years later. It could be staying at a job for too long, or accepting the wrong job offer, maybe moving to the wrong place, or maybe not moving when you should have. Your mistake might be focusing too long on one job type or career path before realizing it wasn't the best fit for you. Now, it's easy in hindsight to wish you could go back and change paths sooner because at the time it may have not seemed obvious. This is where a mentor or a coach can be helpful to you in advising you on thinking several steps ahead in your career because they've gone through this, they've gone through some of these mistakes before. Now, when I coach someone in their career, they often feel like they're stuck or unhappy with their progress, and I can usually pinpoint where they went off track and maybe should have taken a different route in their career. But even though you make mistakes early in career, like staying in a job for too long or not taking that job that maybe you should have, it's never too late to make a change and go after what will make you happy. One lesson that you usually don't learn until it's too late is that loyalty in your career may not always pay off, and staying in a role for too long can hinder your career progress. Now, with all the layoffs that have happened over the past few years, there have been countless stories of people who have worked tirelessly for a company for years and then were laid off without notice. There was one guy who worked at Tesla for over 5 years. He would often work 80 hours a week and sometimes sleeping in his car to be able to meet deadlines. Now, he poured everything he had into that company, only to be laid off without notice. He actually found out as he was driving to work into the office one day when he got the notice that he was being let go. That's just one story of so many just like it. I've also worked alongside team members who have worked hard for a company year in and year out. They were promised promotions that would constantly be delayed or never come. And finally, they would leave for a better opportunity, but at that point, they've fallen behind all of their peers, not only by level, but with compensation too. Now, it's okay to be loyal to a manager or a company, but you don't want to be blind to loyalty, as it can be detrimental to your career. Know that at the end of the day, no one cares more about your career than you do. The other thing that doesn't always pay is hard work. And that's the next lesson. If you feel like you've learned something so far, I'd be grateful if you gave this video a like to help spread the word in support of others out there in their careers. Thank you. Number 6, here's what I learned the hard way that you might too. Just working hard doesn't mean you'll get promoted or get a raise. Now, I've seen many examples of people working incredibly hard and not getting promotions, and I've experienced it myself. In one of my jobs, I would work long hours because my manager did, and they were working 14-hour days and on weekends, so I would too. I thought that if I worked extra hard, it would show my manager that I was worthy of a promotion and a raise. Unfortunately, my manager left the company and I wasn't promoted. So the lesson here is, don't overwork yourself with the idea that it will lead to promotion. The people who get promoted aren't always the ones who work the most, but the ones who work the smartest. Working smart doesn't mean you have to be the best at everything. It just means focusing on projects that matter to your boss and your boss's boss. If you're working hard on things they don't care about, your effort might go unnoticed. What really helps you get promoted is being involved in important projects and making sure the right people know about your contributions. As soon as I started doing that, the promotions started to happen for me consistently. So hard work doesn't get you promoted, but self-promotion does, and that's our next lesson. There's a common mistake a lot of people make. You have two choices. You can either learn how to play the game and join in, or you can sit back and watch others get promotions. A big part of getting ahead is being visible to the right people and telling them about your achievements. And often the right person isn't your immediate manager. It's actually their boss. Why is that? It's because your manager usually isn't the one who decides your promotion. It's decided higher up. That's why it's important to be visible to senior level leaders throughout your organization. If you want to be the driver of your career instead of the passenger, you have to take on many different roles, including being your own marketing team. And that means you need to show others what you've accomplished and what you're capable of, not just inside your company or your department, but also when you're out there looking for jobs elsewhere. Now, if you're content in your career, these tips might not matter to you. But if you're aiming to move up, it's crucial to pick the right projects and connect with the right people, because that's how you get promoted and get raises. Another tough lesson, which has become even more clear with all the job cuts lately, is that your value at work is based on your most recent contributions. You might think that doing a great job on a big project last year means that you're secure, but that's not always the case. If the company doesn't see you as valuable anymore, especially if they don't think you'll contribute in the future, you might be at risk at losing your job. The appreciation and goodwill that you've built can disappear pretty fast. This just shows that company loyalty can be shocking. You put in hard work and build up good relationships only to end up on a layoff list. It's tough, but leaders look for what you can do for them going forward, not just what you've done in the past. And that's why you should always look out for yourself first in your career. Look, you're not being selfish in approaching it that way. You can still give and support the people around you and build amazing relationships while also looking out for your own interests. Because I promise you this, no one cares more about your career than you do. Now, if you want more tips and advice to help you in your career, join our free newsletter linked in the description below, where we share lessons, strategies, and tips to help you take control of your career. And if you want dedicated help to make big strides in your career faster, whether it's getting your next job, landing your dream role, or getting that promotion, we at Better Career provide programs and premium coaching that will help you get to where you want to go faster. We have extensive experience in helping people make big steps in their careers. In fact, our clients average an increase of over $44,000 with their new job or promotion. We work with career changers as well as experienced professionals and leaders, and we'd love to work with you too. There you have it. That's the 8 lessons that I hope you can learn from as you're navigating your own career. By avoiding these common mistakes, you'll significantly improve your chances for long-term success. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What other lessons have you learned in your career that you could share with others to help them in their own journey? I look forward to reading your comments, and please don't forget to give this video a like to help others in their careers as well. I wish you the very best in your career, and remember, I'm here to support you every step of the way.